So good morning and welcome. It's day 7 of the Captain Blog, and it seems impossible that I've spent 6 nights on board Belmore TC already. I think it's because of what's happened. So usually I'll take over the boat and I'll just be on my own and I'll pootle around here or pootle around there, or maybe go on a big adventure down to the Southern Broads, for example. But because I took the boat over with Sheila and then we went to Stracy Arms, and then we had to get up really early to get the tide through Yarmouth. And then it was like cruise, cruise, cruise and exploring the Southern Broads, and then me having to come all the way back up to the Northern Broads. And then, supposedly, taking things much easier. And then yesterday, of course, turned into quite a bit of a cruising day, but I was okay with it. But I'm trying something new with the camera today, which I'm not going to keep on, I don't think, for long. It's this lens filter, which is supposed to make things a bit vivid, a bit different. I think it just makes things look a bit silly and pink. But I'll keep it on for the introduction, just so we can see what it actually looks like when the film is edited. So you join me here at the Horning Ferry pub on their moorings. And most of the boats that were with me overnight have departed. There was a lot of traffic early this morning with boats heading back to Barnes, Brinkcraft, Faircraft Loynes, because obviously it's Friday. They might have had a week to Friday or a short break Monday to Friday, and it was like, get back, quick, 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 for 9 o'clock. But I'm almost ready to depart now. I've done all the sort of things that you've got to do with the boat, you know, demist the windows and get all the dew off. I must admit, seriously, this is basically a shower squeegee. I recommend that if you're coming on a boating holiday, or if you own a boat, get one of these. Now, some people that own boats get these Karcher kind of vacuum things that suck the water as they go. They're great, but they're a bit expensive, and I think one of those and a bit of kitchen towel is all you really need. It's not a window squeegee, it's a shower squeegee, so it just has a silicone blade, and they're really cheap on Amazon. You can pick these up for a couple of quid, and they will sort out all of the moisture, that condensation on the inside of the windows, and when it's awful outside, and you just can go around the decks with this as well, and works great on the fiberglass and makes it instantly, you know, half as wet as it was and safer to walk on. So if you think these changes in camera angles is me trying to be theatrical, it's not. It's just this camera's quite heavy to hold and I keep having to change the arm that I'm holding it with. But anyway, finally, it's been an interesting few days because I've met quite a few people along the rivers, people that have watched these blogs, you know, come and said hello and had a chat with. Spent some time with Sheila, my girlfriend, at the beginning of the holiday, and then getting back used to being back on my own, which has been a little bit tricky, because when you're with someone and then they go and you miss them and stuff like this. And then last night, for example, well, the night before last, I spent on board with a friend's boat and had dinner with them. Then there was time at Bramerton before I came up north, and I met with some friends and spent time on board their boat and had dinner with them. And then last night I went to the Ferry Inn and had dinner there, which I thoroughly recommend. And I noticed Clive Richardson at the bar, Richardson's Holidays, you know. So I had to chat with him and a couple of beers and stuff. So it's interesting who you meet along the way and how, I suppose, my experiences on the Norfolk Broads have changed by coming so often, doing these blogs, people watching them, being interested, being curious, you know, what's it all about, what's Robin all about, blah, 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 and making a good sort of circle of friends, and not just that, but just people that, you know, hiring a boat, and they're hiring a boat because they saw my blog and they thought that's a really good boat, or, you know, stuff like this. There's a guy that comes all the way from, I think it's it's either Saudi Arabia or the UAE. I'm never sure if they're kind of the same thing, but I don't want to get involved in geography because I was never good with it at school and I can't be bothered to go on Google Maps and look. It's a long way in the Far East. Change hands. Oh, that's better. Right, okay, so we'll try the left hand now. So anyway, there are people that come all the way from Australia to spend a couple of weeks on Norfolk Broads, so it's a really big thing for a lot of people that this is a really special place to come and holiday, and quite unique around the world. I mean, yes, you've got different places you can hire boats, in France for example, but not quite the same as the good old Norfolk Broads. And I've got to admit, the guy that comes over from the Far East, I'm sorry, I can't remember your name, but you post on the MBN forum, and he's going to be hiring Brinks Rhapsody later in the year. And that's because, you know, he saw the blog and the family said, that's really interesting, that's a new boat, that looks exciting. All the kids were like, yeah. And so he's going to give that a go, and he posts, you know, this is what my plans are. But you see, the thing is, I've never met the bloke, but I read his posts, and if I was out on the Broads and he was out on the Broads and I saw him or he saw me, it'd be like, hey, how you doing, blah blah blah. So it's like a big kind of club that all has a common interest, which is boats and the Norfolk Broads. And in so many instances, it doesn't matter where you're from, or what you do for a living, or, you know, what ideas you got, you know, what political party you support. It doesn't matter. You're just here because you're having a good time, you like boats, and you like the water, and you like getting away from it all. And I think that's great, because there's so few things in life where that sort of community atmosphere of sort of being all in it together and, you know, enjoying the holiday and having a great time exists. Even in, like, you know, holiday club places, you know, like Butlins or something, it's not quite the same sort of atmosphere, although it's kind of similar. Like you go on a coach holiday, you're all in the coach together, you're all going, you know, to the same places and da 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 da. But you know what I mean? Maybe I'm not describing that exactly. My mind's a bit in the morning anyway. So I hope you will be enjoying today's activities that we're going to have coming up. We're going to be going, but I'll talk English. We're going to be going to Potter Heigham, and I'm going to be visiting Latham's and trying to dispose of this bag of rubbish that I've been trying to get rid of, because I'm not going to go into a big story about it, but effectively on the Norfolk Broads it's now become very difficult to get rid of your rubbish on your boat, because there was a change where basically the county council and stuff, they denoted that, you know, there's a change between domestic and commercial refuse, and they're not going to collect the hire boat refuse because that's classed as commercial, but private boaters is classed as domestic. And oh, it's a mess, and they've taken away the bins, and they're going to save like £100,000 a year by not doing this. But now, of course, there's all this rubbish building up at bins, which is going to cost more money to remove, and it's going to look horrible, obviously, and smelly, and all the rest of it. And I don't know, typical, you know, council's red tape. One thing leads to another thing, but all I know is it's becoming difficult to get rid of the rubbish. So that's something I've got to sort out later today as well. I'm hoping I can do that at Potter Heigham or pop into Herbert Woods and use their refuse facilities there. So I'm going to take this filter off the camera, going to start the engine. It's already even better day than it was yesterday. So each day is getting warmer, hotter, more sunny, absolutely lovely. Let's go and see what the day brings. So it's 20 past 10, we're still on the Bure, and on my right hand side is the turn off for Ranworth Dam, which goes down to Morehouse Broad. I was considering popping down there and visiting the post office because I can get some cash. You can do that, did that in Reedham. Any post office, you can go in there with your cash card, say I want, you know, 20 quid, you put it in the card reader, put your PIN number in, they give you your money. It's really good. But I think that Potter Heiham's got a cash point. If it doesn't, I'm sure Latham's do cash back. So I'm not too bothered about that. And if they don't, well, I'll just come back. It's not essential, but it's always nice, especially in this part of the world, to have a bit of cash instead of just relying on your card. In London, I very rarely actually bother with any money. I just use my card, because everywhere accepts cards. Most places now it's contactless, so you just get in the habit. And then you come out of London and you come up here, and you know there's like a little store, and you think, well, that's nice, and you think, oh, they don't take cards. Oh, I haven't got any cash. So it's always good to be prepared. But it is just such a lovely morning. I've had to put the sunglasses on because the sun is really reflecting off of the railings, the pulpit rail at the front of the boat. It's a funny angle, the sun. It's sort of just over here, shining this away, which obviously will change as we go around bends and down the river and so on. Haven't seen too many boats out on the water yet. I think a lot of people are just taking it easy, and also I wouldn't be surprised if quite a lot of people have now gone, you know, taken their boats back to their respective hire yards, either having a short break Monday to Friday, or, you know, Friday to Friday a week. But it's taken a while, but I finally feel like, you know, I'm on the Broads, I'm fully absorbed, and I'm comfortable. It's a strange feeling. I can't really describe it, and it's probably unique to me. But let's say, for example, I came up on a boat for 4 nights, and 2 of those nights, for example, were to go and meet some people for a social occasion, for example. Brilliant, you have a great time, right? And then you come away from that, and then you've got the serenity of the Broads and everything else. And part of me, I am someone that enjoys my own time, my own company, my own space. I'm an only child, it doesn't bother me, it's never bothered me. Some people require, you know, they really get uncomfortable if they haven't got people around them. But I'm comfortable with people or not. But coming on the Broads, for me, it's a mixture of that. And it's a real stress buster as well. From you know, everything at home and work and just daily life. Lots of people I speak to that don't live in London or a city, they just, you know, it's often, oh, I don't know how you manage to live in London. It's all too fast and noisy. And I like living in London, and I like that buzz and the speed and the pace. But I like to get away from it as well. But I don't think I could give it up completely. Let's imagine that I moved from London to a place near, say, Ranworth Broad. Okay? I would probably go mad. Because after a while I'd think to myself, you know, simple things like not having reliable, good phone signal, or having a phone signal that you can make a phone call with, but you can't use like the apps on your phone without the Wi-Fi at home or something because you've not got a 3G signal. Or just the quietness after a while getting a bit too much, you know, where I'm used to walking down my street and it's a major, you know, area of London, and you know, it's just all go, and you can just say, right, I'm going to get the bus, I'm going to go down to sort of, you know, Hoxton, or go to some crazy place where, you know, you can have cereal or porridge, £7 for a bowl of porridge, and that's all they sell. But you can just do that and be crazy and book, or, you know, think, oh, I'm going to go to Hyde Park today, I'm going to hire a Barclays bike, or as they're now going to be called, Santander bikes, or just call them Boris bikes. And I love that kind of thing, which you don't get outside of London. You might get it in other major cities, but not quite the same. So if you took me away from all of that and put me here, I'd probably be alright with it for a while, but then I'd really miss it, and I'd say, you know, what are you doing today? Oh, I'm spending the weekend down in London. What? Yeah, it's got to get back to the pace. So instead of like, can't wait to get away from it, come up to Norfolk, I'd be the reverse. But anyway, it's a difficult thing, just when I'm saying this, nothing to do what I've been talking about, off at a tangent. But I've been reviewing some of the videos that I've been filming, and I like it, like, for example, say you're coming into mooring, it's good to have the different camera angles, and it's obviously, if you haven't seen it before, you're going to be thinking, alright, well, is he going to cock up, or how's this going to go? Oh, that was interesting, or oh, why did he do that, or whatever, yeah? But if you just record, like, right now, we've got nothing, there's no, well, there's a couple of seagulls, there's no leaves on the trees, it's the same bend after bend, I think to myself, oh, I won't bother recording that, because if I play that back for like 5 minutes, some people will be like, oh, that looks lovely, or that's really lovely, yeah. And other people like, well, is anything going to happen? No? Okay. So do you see what I mean? So it's kind of difficult to get the balance right where, say going through London Bridge, of course I'm going to film that, but just the going along bits, I don't know, if it looked a bit more sort of lush and there was more boat traffic going past or stuff like this. So I'm sorry that if I'm not doing good. I don't know. I mean, yesterday I said this vlog is going to be called The Big Talk, because I've been talking a lot. And there are people on YouTube that do like moto vlogs. They get in their motorbike and they will drive randomly somewhere. Maybe they're driving to a specific destination and they just talk about random stuff or what they're seeing around them, and they get a lot of people watch these. So I suppose, you know, going along in a boat talking about random stuff, there is an attraction to some people about that. I also think there's an attraction to some people that just shut them up and you know, show us the pretty stuff. But each vlog is I say, different, and it depends how I feel, what mood I'm in. I'm still not 100% well. My back's still sort of painful, but it seems each day it does get a little bit better. But getting back on the boat can be a bit of a like, oh god, that bloody back of mine. And I thought, well, maybe you're just getting an old man, you know. But other vlogs in the past have been more action-packed, like say Brinks when, you know, you're going down south, you're going over Braden Water, so you film that, you film going under the bridges, you film going over Braden Water, then you film going under, you know, Somerleyton or St Olave's Bridge, and you know, you're getting there and you've got this pace to it and differences and changes and stuff like this. When you're on the northern rivers and you're on the River Bure and you're going between sort of Horning and the mouth of the River Rand, it's much the same. There's not much pace to it. And also, I'm not someone that can do a video, let's say, and it's also quite, by the way, tricky to drive the boat on your own and manage 3 or 4 cameras. But if you have someone with you and you're very keen on, you know, videography, and then you can really make a mini little movie out of it, because you can capture the elements, you can do, you know, commentary over the video, and you know, this is Ranworth, and you know, a bit of history about the place, and this is the Broad, blah 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 blah, and people can watch that and go, that's very interesting. I can't really be bothered to do that, to be honest. It would be almost nigh impossible to do it on my own, but if I was to do it, it takes a great deal of pride, time and effort to pull something off and it to be really nice and, you know, beautiful. But personally speaking, I'm always been about, from the very first time, pick the camera up, hit the red button and we're off. I do very little preparation, takes. It's only if I mess my words up significantly that I will start again. I don't really edit too much out, and that's how it's always been. It's boating as it happens. So I'm just feeling that sometimes when I look at my videos back again on YouTube, and I'm sorry to keep going on so long, really, but I think when I'm not on the boat, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to, you know, I bought this camera, I bought a tripod that arrived, it was absolutely massive, 25 kilogram professional tripod, right? The description just didn't say that. It was 50 quid, and I thought, and I wanted a fluid pan head, and I sent it back to the company and I said, you know, this is just not suitable for me, I'm sorry, you know, it's too heavy. The product description said nothing about the weight, I just need it for a little camera, not a big, studio thing. So I thought they would just give me a refund, and they did, and I was like, okay, cool. About 5 days later, I get a card through the letterbox from like the delivery UPS. We tried to deliver something, and it's like being taken to this shop for collection about a mile away from me, and I'm like, what? So I go to this place, and I go in there with the card, and it's like, collect the item, and it's another tripod, but it's a different one. It's like a more lightweight one. And it's like, whoa. Phoned up the company, and I said to them, you gave me the refund. Today I get this, other tripod thing. I don't really want it. I don't want to be charged again. And they said, oh no, it's our compliments. Obviously, we try to keep our customers happy. And I said, oh right. So I was like really thankful for this. And then I realised it was completely useless for what I wanted it to do, because you couldn't pan and tilt. You could only pan or stop panning, screw something down, unscrew something, and then tilt. So it'd be great for a photographer that like sets up his shot and then like, right, that's it, I'm going to click the shutter button. But to film with, when you want to maybe pan and then move up, completely pointless. So I phoned them up and I said, thank you very much, but I'm going to send this back to you. You've given me the refund. I'll give you a good review on Amazon for, all of what you've gone to, the trouble you've gone to. We call it quits. And this is an American company, by the way, and they were like, okay, yeah, sure, fair enough. You don't need to return the other tripod. So I was like, okay, so I've got this other tripod that's great for, photographers. Thought nothing more of it. Another 5 days later, I get another tripod from them, which is like a pan, tilt, fluid pan here, blah blah blah, and I'm like, what the hell, so I've just kept quiet this time, but even that one's a bit too big and bulky to have brought with me. But that's what I thought about, going back, was how nice would it be to set up the tripod somewhere pretty, film the scene, smooth pans as the sun is rising kind of thing. But when I packed everything in my case, there's just no way I could have brought that as well. And I've done all of that. But that's how I think about stuff. I think I want to make these better. I want to make these more, interesting to watch and memorable and stuff like that. Anyway, we're now at the mouth of the River Rant on my left, which means we're going to be shortly passing St Benet's. And we'll be continuing on our way to the River Thurne, where we'll be turning left. If you have gone through all of that talking period of stuff, then well done. I'll try not to ramble on so much during today. But yes, now something's changed. So now I can reach out the window and hit record on the other camera, like that, and show you the moorings at St Benet's and the ruins. So now, by the magic of editing, that should now fade in right about now. So a little update for you, we've now reached the mouth of the River Thurne on my left hand side. Everything's going very smoothly and we're going along quite well. We're not using too many revs. I haven't checked what the tide is doing, don't tend to really do that too much on the Northern Broads, but we're certainly not going against the tide, because as you come up to the Thurne mouth and you head off down there, and or if you're going to go to Acle, you do notice the tide's more here, and of course the more you go towards Yarmouth, so the more you feel them either helping you along or hindering you. But it is a beautiful day. I'm pleased I'm not going down to Acle, because the amount of sailing boats down that way I can see all weaving and weaving across, whereas going down towards Potter Heigham, no sailing boats, nice easy drive. But no, it's a really lovely morning. I'm looking forward to popping into Latham's. So we're just entering the outskirts, as I call them, of Potter Heigham. It's where the speed limit reduces to 4 miles an hour and the first of the kind of the chalet sort of bungalow town begins. Recently posted something on the NorfolkBroads.net forum when I was talking about Potter Heigham, and it's a funny old place because when people come to the Broads, it's on the map, it's in the broadcaster, it's this place you've got to go, Potter Heigham, and this medieval 13th century bridge that's very difficult to get under. So people come to Potter Heigham and you come down the River Thurne, which is a very pretty river, and you start seeing these odd little, you know, chalet here, little bungalow there, and you think, oh, this is really pretty. And then they get more and more and they start lining either side of the riverbank, and it almost is sort of bringing you down this sort of almost waterway of a high street. But unfortunately, when you then arrive at Potter Heigham, you've got Herbert Wood's boatyard on your left, so you're more up on the right hand bank, for example, and you see the bridge, and you think, oh look, there's the bridge. And you go to the bridge and you look at it, you walk over it, and then you realise there's basically Latham's, which is just a big sort of QD stores, the Flour and Bean Cafe, a burger van. I'm not sure if the fish and chip shop's still going, but that was of, for personal opinion, debatable quality. I believe the pub's shut now as well, after another go at making it work. There is a new sort of tea rooms, but I think the prices for Potter Heigham are a little bit on the steep side. Nearly £8 for a cheese and tomato panini, for example. And that's Potter Heigham. And it's a bit like, I wish it could be more to mean that the allure of the place, once you get there, has something to sort of keep you there, or to bring more people there, than just, you know, a tea room or a fish and chip shop. And I think I discussed this the other day on one of my other blogs about, you know, maybe encouraging maybe the local, you know, council or the Broads Authority with planning rules and so on and so forth could do a little bit more to help encourage people, businesses to come in and you know, give them a sort of, I don't know, helping start or something, or, you know, reduce their rates or something to help, because we've got all these people coming to the Broads, hiring ever more luxurious, expensive hire boats, and the provisions that you have once you're off the boat, I think, are quite lacking. It's another example where, let's say for example, you went to Potter Heigham and there was Costa Coffee. You know what you're getting with Costa Coffee? Some people might say, oh, God damn, I can't stand these bloody places. Give me an independent coffee shop any day of the week. I agree. But, you know, you can't always have that. And a lot of people might, you know, think, oh, you know, Tim's Coffee, for example, or Costa or Nero or Starbucks or, you know, whoever it is. They might think, well, I don't know about Tim's Coffee, but I know what Costa Coffee tastes like. Even though I'm a Cafe Nero type of person, I'll have that. I have a, you know, whatever, you know, latte skinny winko. But it's somewhere that's recognisable, it's somewhere where people could go and feel comfortable, sit down, free Wi-Fi, have a coffee, and a you know, a relax, not in a pub. Equally, you might have somewhere, like, let's just pretend you had Nando's. You know, people go, oh, Nando's, the kids were Nando's, hey, let's go to Nando's. Now, I'm not saying that it would necessarily be a great idea. I mean, really, would it survive outside of the holiday season? Would the people of these chalets, would the people of Potter Heigham and the local area really get in their cars and get in their boats to come to have a Nando's? Maybe not. But this is why I'm not in business. I'd be the guy that's like, you know, get all the investors together and say, you know, like very sort of Silicon Valley, you know, right, we've got this great idea, this is what's going to happen, we just need some sort of angel investors, a few $1 million, yeah, let's do this, let's make this work. And then it all, you know, kicks off with things, you know, a bit like Twitter, for example. You know, no one's asked, and how does this pay for itself? sponsored tweets, adverts that are actually tweets that don't really do the making of the money. But it's so popular now, we can't possibly let it fail. You just don't get that in Norfolk. You want to build Nando's in Potter Heigham. That's an abomination of a Norfolk accent, and if you can't do an accent right, then don't even try. What was that accent? What is a Norfolk accent? Alright, boy? You alright there? What, you boat on your own there, I see there? Alright, yeah. What do you know, is that a Norfolk accent? I don't really know. It's a bit of sort of, or missus. Oh Christ, he's doing the crazy voices. They're not accents, they're just crazy voices. I'm going to stop right there. We're in Chalet Town. It's really pretty actually. So here we are in Herbert Wood's boatyard. I'm not sure why I decided to come all the way over the far side here, but still. There's a water hose right behind me, which is handy, and the rubbish bins are right behind there, which is handy, and it's just across there to Latham's, which is handy. Quite a few spaces in here, but equally quite a lot of their boats are in at the moment. So, always a nice, friendly place, Herbert Woods. And some people sort of poo-poo the idea of coming to a boatyard to moor. And of course, you know, you can only do this really if you're a hirer. You can come in if you're private, but you've got to inform reception, probably have to pay some money. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, when you come to a boatyard, there are amenities that otherwise you wouldn't be able to have. There is a water point over on the main moorings on the river there. But of course it's not right by the boat. There's also some electric points over there, but there's electric points here in the boatyard, so as long as you don't get in the way of the workings of the boatyard, you're more than welcome. So I'm gonna shut up the boat, put everything away, hide it away, and then head on in to spend a bit of time in Latham's and Potter Heigham in general, or as it happens. So this is Potter Heigham. You've got Latham's here and the Flower and Bean Cafe. This used to just be one big sort of shop, come, you know, get ice creams and stuff and buy various gifts and stuff, but this obviously hasn't been let yet, and this is the new Potter tea room that's just opened. Then you've got the bridge, this nice little seating area, Herbert Woods itself, and the Latham's discount fishing store. If you walk down this road, probably about half a mile, you'll come to the sort of the proper little village of Potter Heigham. There's, I think, a convenience store and a post office, but other than that, it's a very small little place. So I'm going to have a look to see if the pub's still going, and I'm going to also go over the bridge and see if the fish and chip shop's still going, both of which were when I was last here. So let's go and find out. Well, I can confirm that the Broads Haven Tavern is indeed open, and I don't know if this is very recent here where it says under new management. But you can see karaoke Friday night, traditional pub food, restaurant and tea room. So it's good to see that's open, because I'd read that, you know, it had closed, but it hasn't. So I don't know if it's under new management or there was a hiccup or just rumours, I'm not sure, but in person here today, the pub's open, so that's all good. You see a lot of Martham's boats over here. And of course over here once stood the Bridge Hotel until it burnt down. And this is another scene that's changed immensely over the years. You look at old postcards, this is all sort of old sheds, boat sheds, and that is the bypass bridge. And on that site is where the former railway line was, and there was an old railway line there and big old steel girder bridge. And so the takeaway restaurant and amusements, it is still open, so that's all good. I have to be honest with you, the chips I've had there before haven't been the best, but they weren't freshly fried, so you know, I can't comment on what they would be like if they were. I'm tempted to actually give it a go right about now. I think this business is up for sale, but let's just run over a few things, shall we? So the Broads Haven Tavern, that's still open and doing business. The Fish and Chips Restaurant and Amusements is still open and doing business. So what I said coming into Potter Heigham about stuff, ignore. So the old traditional places are still here, plus we've got the new one of the tea rooms. I still think their prices are a bit steep though, but you know, the trade will tell and dictate if they need to lower those a little bit. But it's worth stopping around here and trying these places, seeing what your opinions are, and everyone's different. So I'm going to go and try some chips from here. We'll see what they're like. I'm going to pop into Latham's and then back on the boat. Okay, so this is what I got. I got a portion of chips and a can of Coke, £2.59. They're not the best looking. They're quite lukewarm and a bit soggy. They've obviously been cooked and then left standing for some time. I think that's what the problem is. They cook a lot and there isn't the business, and I think they should sort of cook to order more. I'm going to head over there and sit on the bench and have these though, and watch the traffic on the river, and then head back over the bridge to Latham's. So from here, this very beautiful morning here in Potter Heigham, more as it happens. So the time now is 25 minutes past 1. I'm about to cast off and leave the quite peaceful place that is Herbert Wood's boatyard. Actually, it's quite gentle, just sitting on the boat and the fender just creaking against the quay heading and the lapping of the water and the sunshine. So we've been round Potter Heigham, as you saw on the video. Had some not that great chips, but they filled a hole. Went to Latham's, got some important stuff in there, such as some kitchen towel, some fruit pastels, and of course 10 cans of Coke for £3. Back on board now, as I said. Destination, who knows? It'll be back down the River Thurne. I'm not really sure. I think I might feel like just stopping off briefly at St Benet's Abbey. It's a nice day, it'd be nice and quiet there. Even if there's, you know, boats moored, it's usually a really nice quiet mooring. As for this evening, where might we be heading and finally mooring up? I think that's going to go much the same as it did yesterday. No idea, an idea, change idea, and then just land somewhere, you know, that's suitable. We'll be cooking on board tonight though, so not an eating out night tonight. But it really is incredibly warm now. Got all the windows open, the sunroof. It's not too windy. So, you know, getting out of here and turning won't be an issue. But it'd be nice to get back out on the river. And it's just so good that even when it's not been so nice, the weather, it's been a bit chilly, a bit grey, there's been no rain. It makes such a difference. You know, people often talk about the Broads being, you know, such a lovely place and all the rest of it. But on a boat, in the rain, when it's pouring with rain, windows are misting up. And a lot of people in those sort of circumstances just decide, look, we're just going to moor here and just stay here, kind of thing, you know. Sunshine makes all the difference, is what I'm saying. So I'm really pleased that we've had blessing over this Easter period of some really lovely warm sunshine. I'll update you when we're underway and let you know where we're going to be stopping off. But for now, more as it happens. So we're just on the River Bure. I can see the ruins of St Benet's Abbey ahead of me. It's been a few yachts to get through, but the conditions today seem absolutely spot on for sailing. Neither is it too gusty, it's just a steady wind, and they've really got some power in the sails. It does, however, make it a little bit more daunting when you're in a boat, because normally you might see a yacht, you know, just sort of slowly go across the river. But these, once they've got that power behind them, they take off, and of course you don't really exactly know where are they going to go. So it's all very well and good when they're, you know, the wind's behind them, they're going in a relative straight line and, you know, all is well, but it's when suddenly the wind changes and they come diving towards you and you're like, Christ! And then at last minute they tack and head off towards the other bank. But it's been really enjoyable anyway. Sorry, just one went by then. So I think actually what I'm going to try and do is maybe get under London Bridge, just go up and have a little bootle at the bridge, see what the height's saying, and find a wild mooring on the River Anne. And then I can sort of, you know, moor at about 4 o'clock, and nice quiet mooring out of the way of everyone else. So that's what I'm thinking at the present time, off the main river. So I'll update you. We're going to turn off. We're not going to stop at St Benet's today. We're going to turn onto the River Anne and we'll see what the height gauge is saying at London Bridge. Well, the moorings at St Benet's are completely and utterly empty. I'm just trying to figure out what way the wind and the tide's going. I thought it would be a bit rude not to moor up here when it's so completely empty, 3:10. So I'm going to try and turn round and see what way the current's going and see if that's going to be in our favour. And so ends day 7 of the Captain's Blog, rather suddenly and abruptly if you've been watching this, because one moment I was mooring at St Benet's just for a short period and going to spend the evening maybe on a quiet wild mooring on the River Anne, and the next minute I'm saying, oh, this is the end of the show, guys. So basically I did moor here, as you know, and I was feeding some swans and ducks with some bread, when all of a sudden I see Simon and Sonia, friends of mine who are on the boat behind me, which you probably can't see because of the glare through the windows, but as you can see they may be a little bit clearer. So they've come and moored behind me, and we're going to have some drinks, some food and some good conversation tonight. We've already walked their dog, had a little walk down to the ruins of the Abbey, which was nice. And to the guy that was on board the boat that I can't remember the bloody name of, but it's like San Remo, it's a sedan cruiser from Richardson's, it's bright yellow and blue, and Melody, I believe it's called Melody, and you said, hi, you know, watch the blogs and all the rest of it, so hello, good to have made your acquaintance briefly. So I hope if you're watching this, you've been enjoying it. Let's just change the hands again because the camera's getting rather heavy. That's the only problem with this camera. It's a lovely camera, but not so good as a blog camera, I'm afraid, compared to the other one. But anyway, that's a minor thing. So yes, it's a bit of a misty, murky, chilly end to the day. But basically, that is the end of day 7. I don't know where we're going to be going tomorrow on day 8. Who knows? Every day I try and plan something and it ends up being anything but. But once again, thanks if you've been watching this. I know it hasn't been the most amazing day. I've tried to get some more outdoor footage of us going along, and it's been a beautiful day. So from where I'm standing and have been sitting, it's been a really enjoyable day. So thanks again if you've been watching. Until tomorrow then, more as it happens.